All right, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna make my favorite tofu recipe, and it's a baked tofu. And you know, it kills me when you go to the grocery store and you see these little tiny packets. It's like a 2-pack of teriyaki tofu or a Thai spice tofu, and it's going to cost you probably about $4.49, $5, something like that, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. So I want to show you what I do. So first and foremost, I get a super firm tofu, and that's what I work with. All right, so here is a tofu. It's an organic tofu that I get, and it's a nice big block. This one I happened to get in Safeway, and I got this in Safeway because it was on sale for $2 for this block right here. And for $2 I can make 4 of those packets, or I can make 2-pack tofus. All right, but mine's going to be so much better. So I use this, and what I do is when I see that there's something on sale, I'll go ahead and I'll buy it, and then I will take this and I'm going to pop it in the freezer. So when I see something on sale, I'm going to go ahead and pop that in the freezer. When you pull it out of the freezer, when it's time to use it, just know that even the liquid that's in the package is frozen. So the consistency when you pull it out might be a little bit different, but it's not going to matter because we're going to throw it in the oven, and then the oven, the heat is going to pull out the moisture. All right, so there's a little tip for you. All right, so I'm making a spicy peanut butter, garlic, ginger dressing for my tofu. All right, so let's get started. All right, here are my ingredients. I have the bullet, my magic bullet, which I love so much. And then I have my block of tofu, all right? And this tofu is super firm. And it's super firm because when they make the tofu, there's a press that comes down and squeezes out all of the water. And this super firm tofu really has no water in it, not a lot anyhow, and that's why I like to use it. So I already took one of those blocks that I showed you and I cubed up my tofu. I'm going to go ahead and cube up this block as well, and then we go ahead and we put ginger in the bullet. We're going to go ahead and use some garlic. I forgot to put that down. So garlic goes in as well. And then I use a tamari, which is really nice to use. And I use this tamari because it is less salt that's in here, and it's also gluten-free, and that's why I like to use the tamari. And then I'm either going to use a peanut butter or I'll use an almond butter. And then I like to use this particular chili garlic sauce. I include that in there. That's my spiciness. If you don't like this one, then this is pretty much the same. This one has a bunch of the seeds still in there, if you could see it. This one is much smoother, okay? But that's their hot sauce. And this is the chili garlic, and this is the sriracha, okay? So you can use whatever spice that you like. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to cube up the rest of this tofu right here. Let's just do a quick cubing. Super simple. And you can use a silken tofu if you like, but there's a lot of water in that. And the silken tofu, I usually save that for if I'm going to do some sort of a smoothie. All right. So there is our tofu, nice firm blocks. All right, so I will move that aside and we'll mix it up in a moment. All right, so here is my magic bullet. I'm going to use my low blade on this. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is we have our garlic here, And I already have some garlic that's my ginger, and here's my garlic. All right, so I use a lot of garlic. So this is probably about, I'd say 5 or 6 hefty cloves of garlic. I'll use 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. It all depends on how big it is, but I'm gonna dump that in. I'm gonna put all of it in. And then we're gonna go and put in our ginger. And what I love about ginger is sometimes I don't even peel it, but here's the trick. If you wanna go ahead and peel your ginger, let me show you how it's done. I'm gonna put this up here so we have something to contrast the color with. But I wanna show you what I always do is I go ahead and I take a spoon. So I take a spoon, I'm going to use the back of the spoon, I'm going to take my garlic, and with the back of the spoon I'm going to push it down. Look at how easy that peels off. Most people don't know how to peel ginger, but I'm peeling the ginger, okay? That's what I'm going to do first. And ginger is really fibrous, you'll see. So I peel my ginger first. Look at that, nice and clean, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I could use this if I wanted to. I would actually leave the skin on if I was going to use this in a stew or something. But the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my grater, and I'm gonna take my ginger and I'm gonna grate it. So I'm just gonna do a quick grate. That's the easiest way to get your ginger. And when I mentioned that it was fibrous, do you see this? It's all hard. This is hard. It'll get stuck in your teeth. So what I do is I just pull this off. See, look at that. I pull it off and I go ahead, and even though we've grated it, I'm gonna go ahead, oops, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna chop this really, really fine. I'll keep chopping. It takes a couple of minutes, not even, a couple seconds. So here is my chopped ginger. Super, super juicy, right? I already had some made here. Look at all that juice. Here's your ginger juice. So we have this. This I would say is about a good 2.5 tablespoons. I'm not going to use that much, so let me just first clear this area here. All right, so we already have our garlic in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use half of this, all right? So I'm going to use about a full tablespoon. I'm going to just pop it in there, all right? I'll save the rest of this for some salad dressing. And then what I'm going to do is I have that. I'm going to use probably a tablespoon of my scallions. Offers a really nice flavor to it. I'm going to put that in there. Then next, I'm going to go and take my peanut butter. It's an all natural peanut butter. I'm going to put that in there. Remember, we're just making a sauce in order to coat our tofu. All right, so then the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to take a lemon, and I'm just going to squeeze the lemon. And you can use a lemon squeezer if you wanted to, a lemon press, but I figure why bother? I mean, I could do it. I could use this lime press if I wanted to, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to capture all of the seeds. I'm letting the liquid go through and I'm capturing the seeds in my hand. And it's simply because I don't want to wash something else. And I'm only using a half a lemon, but I'm squeezing it really good, making sure that my pits don't go inside. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tamari, And I'll probably put about, I'd say 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of tamari. And I need my liquid because it is going to coat the tofu. All right, so 2.5 to 3 tablespoons. We have that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my garlic chili paste. And I like this one because it's kind of spicy, but not that bad of a spice where you're running for the hills. But I'm going to go ahead and take that and I'm going to use a nice tablespoon's worth. Let's do a tablespoon and a half. And that goes in there. Oof, I can't wait. So good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and screw the lid on. I will put a cloth down here so that it's not too loud. All right, shake this up a little bit, and here we go. We are going to go ahead and zap this puppy. Shake it up because I know it's thick. All right, that should do it. So now we have our tofu here. I'm going to put the tofu on the plate. Now, one of the things that you need to do with the tofu is that you need to let it marinate a little bit. So I'm pouring in all of my tofu here. Normally I would do it in a bowl, but the one bowl that I like to use, it is in use. So we're just going to do it like this. I'm going to spread everything out. And I'm just going to spread it all around. Look at that goodness. Now, whatever's left over, you can make a dressing out of this. So whatever remains, keep it. Think dressing, all right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to massage this around. And this is getting covered with all of my spices, my garlic, my ginger. And I don't want to use this right away. I want to let it marinate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this and I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator covered for probably a couple of hours. If I was in a hurry, I would not cover this. I would go ahead and just pop it in the oven, but I definitely want to make sure that it's soaked up as much goodness. So if I just coated it lightly, more than likely it would not taste as strong. And I love really, really strong flavored food because that's what keeps me plant-based. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and cover this. We're going to cover it and we're going to stick it in the fridge. And we're going to let it rest there for a couple of hours. Okay? All right, so that was super, super easy, right? In order to make the delicious tofu. And again, if we were gonna buy 2 packages of the 2-pack of tofu that is Thai spice or it's teriyaki, that if we bought 2 packets, that would cost us almost $10. And with this, all of this tofu goodness, this with the garlic and the ginger, it might have cost us maybe $1.50. Let's call it $1.50, $1.60 at the most. So I like to recreate things that I found that I think are delicious, and then I make it even more delicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator, and I'm going to let it rest and marinate for a couple of hours, and then I'll be able to pull it out, pop it onto my baking sheet and put it in the oven at 425 for about, I'd say 20 minutes or so. And then I'll see whether or not it's gotten crispy, and then I'll flip it over. And then within about 30 minutes, you're gonna have some amazing, amazing tofu. So we will speed ahead and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so our tofu has marinated for quite some time now, and I am taking it out of its cover, And we're gonna go ahead and put it on the baking sheet, and then we'll pop it in the oven. Okay, here is our baking sheet. And we're gonna take, I'm just gonna take half of it. I'm gonna save the other half for later. I try not to make too much because my son could eat all of the tofu, and I like to save some for myself. I'll spot make the tofu for him. So here is our tofu. It is completely covered in the sauce that we made. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pop that in the oven. I am so excited. The tofu is finished. I'm gonna pull it out of the oven and I'm gonna show you. It's so good, I wanna eat it all right now. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, let me see how I can do this. Let me switch hands because I want you to see it. There's my helper. That's Lily White. She helps me in the kitchen. Look at this goodness. Ooh. You guys, this is so good. I mean, look at this. Nice and cubed tofu. I'm telling you, I love my food. I love the recipes. They're super easy to make. And I think that you're gonna think that they're nice and tasty and easy to make too. Look at all of this. That's a lot of tofu, and that was half of the portion that I made. I still have the other half in the fridge for later, so what I can do is I can take this and I can use it like it's a crouton. I could take this and I could just snack on it. So these are all wonderful, wonderful ideas for your tofu. Typically when I'm traveling, what I'll do is I'll make this tofu and then I'll stick it in some Ziploc baggies. Like I have a fantastic snack baggie that I want to show you. So what I do is I have this snack baggie and I will fill this up with some tofu. I'm going to do it right now so you can see it. Tofu is still a little bit warm. But what I do is I want to make sure that when I travel or when I leave the house, I want to bring a healthy snack with me. And a lot of times I get hungry because I don't have the protein in me and I need to have quick protein. And so what I do is I put it in these little bags here, and it's warm, but when it's cool, you won't have the condensation. So I pre-make these and I just grab it and take it with me, so I always have some protein with me. That, and I have some nuts and so on. But this is perfect. Look at that. It's perfect to eat it as it is. It's great to put it on salads. It's like a little crouton, but it's 100% protein. Love it. All right. Hopefully you like it. And I'll see you in the next video when I'm cooking something else. All right.